we're at a place where people who refuse to accept the cult label also won't accept criticism of Trump and even define supporting our victims as being critical of him. But he's not guilty. Shout out to all of the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I am Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Well, the beef between Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten nasty. So what is your basis for saying she had Arby's in her pants? Because I know she likes to eat at Arby's, and she likes to put it in her pants. You know that? Yeah. She puts Arby's in her pants. Nope, that's it. That's it. Different nasty. Different nasty. You call yourself a Christian while you wreck your marriage like a whore and lie out a bloated horse face, which has permanent damage from your years of alleged steroid use, which is why you look like a Neanderthal. Damn! Here we go. Marjorie Taylor Greene blasted by Laura Loomer in Epstein backlash. Far-right social media influencer Laura Loomer has slammed Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene for backing the bipartisan effort to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. Loomer's attack on the Georgia congresswoman and fellow Maga celebrity came after Greene appeared alongside victims of the disgraced financier. MTG is a fraud and a phony, a two-faced bee who used Trump to advance her own career. She accused the hard-right ally of the president of teaming up with GOP Trump critic Rep. Thomas Massie in a calculated effort to smear Trump and falsely accuse he's protecting Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I recognize that thought exercise is not your strong suit, Maga, but I just want to put you through a thought exercise here. Let's say you were like a real life person. Let's say you were a real life person. Yeah, kind of like Pinocchio. When Pinocchio became a real boy, say you were a real boy or a real girl. And the stuff that you said that you cared about last year, children, protecting children, SA, trafficking, and specifically Jeffrey Epstein. Let's say the things that you said that you cared about last year, you still cared about this year. Then how would you react in this moment? You would support full transparency and release of the files, right? Okay, yeah, put a pin in that. Her unhinged post called for MTG and Massie to be shunned by MAGA forever and claimed the congresswoman, quote, just killed her career. Loomer accused the MAGA congresswoman of lashing out and, quote, trying to pretend like Trump is a PDF for standing with Epstein victims. Now, why would standing with Epstein victims make it appear as if Trump is a PDF? That is odd. Marjorie Taylor Greene standing with Epstein victims doesn't make it appear as if I am a PDF. Her standing with Epstein victims doesn't make it appear as if Josh Allen is a PDF. It doesn't make it appear as if Sabrina Carpenter or Kyrie Irving is a... Why does it make it appear as if Donald Trump, why would there be a connection if there were no reason for subterfuge? Because you can't have it both ways now, can you? If there was no smoke there and there was reason for him to be completely transparent, well, he would have every reason to alleviate all these concerns and there would be no connection. Easy peasy. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie teamed up with hashtag MeToo attorney Gloria Allred today at the Epstein press conference, a calculated effort to smear President Trump and falsely suggest he's protecting Jeffrey Epstein. Now, does any support of victims automatically a smear against Trump, or just these particular ones? I also want to know. Also, you got a little community note there on the Gloria Allred of it all. MTG is a fraud and a phony two-faced bee who used Trump to advance her career. Now that she can't run for U.S. Senate or governor of Georgia with Trump's endorsement, she's lashing out, trying to pretend like Trump is a PDF. Now, why would her standing with victims? No, just stay with me, Maga. We have reached the portion of the program where any support for victims, the same victims that you guys were standing behind and wanting justice for less than a year ago, now we're at a point where any support of those victims is being perceived as a smear against Trump and a prosecution that he is a PDF. Wow. We have really come a long way. We have really come a long way in less than a year. Yes, we have. Let's see. You are a straight POS, Laura Loomer. They're standing up against slavery, you POS. Neither of them have said anything about Trump. No, that was Laura Loomer's job to bring Trump into all of this. Let's see. We got a Jew trying to protect the Jewish black. Oh, okay. There is that connection. We might circle back around. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a complete fraud. I can't wait to see them both go down. They're both full of it. This was a political stunt, and they are no better than the Democrats. I don't understand the issue. Release all of the Epstein files. It's not that hard. Resisting the release is basically implicating the Trump administration. Yes. How many responses until we got just straight up and down logic? Was that 5, 6? You're a Botoxed ball washer of pumpkin spice Satan because the fam didn't love poor lonely Lunar enough when she was cutting up dolls. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the truth and I love her. But that wasn't enough. Why not go ahead and double down? Why did MTG attend an anti-Trump press conference today and stand in front of signs that called President Trump a PDF? The sign says, release the Epstein files, hashtag pedo47. Let's see. Do right by the wrong. We got GOP. Release. Oh, there it is. Friends, release the Epstein files. Okay. Now here's a question. Is everybody accountable for the signs behind them? Because, I don't think that would go great for your mans. You know what I mean? Again, I know consistency ain't your strong suit, but if we holding everybody accountable for the signs behind them, that's not going to be good. You know, that's really not going to be good. And by the way, neither was that tweet. A press conference about releasing the Epstein files as anti-Trump. What an odd thing to say. It was victims of Epstein speaking. You are a disgusting person. Why is an Epstein client presser anti-Trump? I'll wait for your mental gymnastics. That is an excellent question. That is a rather excellent question. And, I will wait for your answer without indicting Trump. I know. Yeah, I know. You see, you can't indict Trump in trying to answer why a press conference supporting victims is anti-Trump. Oh. Yeah. That might take till the midterms for you to come with also a wrong answer. I've been telling everyone for years that MTG is a Trump hater. Today I was vindicated. To which the response, so standing with Epstein victims is being a Trump hater now. Wild. So let me get this straight. Only Trump haters want the Epstein files released. Can you explain that logic? Just because MTG spoke out for victims at this press conference does not mean she was part of the obvious psyop. What I've seen, observed, and researched about her for several years suggests otherwise, so no, you were not vindicated. I think it's about damn time people stop weaponizing our victims to push political agenda, whatever that may be. It's effing disgusting, and we're all sick of it. People can disagree with Trump. I voted for him and I don't like everything he's done. The handling of this Epstein crap is one of them. Tone it down a bit. You're just causing more division and it's not doing anything for our nation. And all that plastic surgery and Botox must have effed your brain up. As someone who voted for Trump, it's 100% okay to criticize him when he does dumbass ass like fumble the effing Epstein matter. I don't think you're intelligent enough to understand the S you're doing is exactly the same BS they would do. Well, it is cult behavior. It is definitely cult behavior. And I'm pretty sure Massie nor MTG claimed Trump had anything to do with Epstein. Your inability to criticize Trump makes you an effing cultist. No politician over Christ ever. Now crawl back into your cave and shut the F up. Now, just to reset the tables a moment here, we're at a place where people who refuse to accept the cult label also won't accept criticism of Trump and even define supporting our victims as being critical of him. But he's not guilty. And of course, she's not alone in that regard. Here comes Cat Turd lapping up the nonsense. Laura Loomer was right about Marjorie Taylor Greene. To which we get Laura Loomer was absolutely wrong about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's 1,000% America first, a true patriot. She does not take money from AIPAC. America sends large sums to Israel and then the money returns to America through AIPAC. Marjorie Greene is against financing any other country except America. Laura Loomer actively supports Israel, which is why, of course, she doesn't like Marjorie Greene. Oh, they squabbling in the comments. MTG continues to financially support her daughter from her gains in the stock market, and Laura Loomer remains relentless in her pursuit of uncovering the truth. The response, okay, Mossad bot. Now, as hard as it is to defend your objection to true transparency and supporting victims as being an indictment of Trump without an admission of guilt, as impossible of a needle as that is to thread. Then I want to drop on top of it this schism that's been created in the right wing over Israel, which pits you on opposite sides. And I'm supposed to assume that has nothing to do with it. Because when you're not trying to obscure any level of transparency about this issue, this is how you're spending your time. A friend of mine was traveling in Salt Lake City at the airport yesterday. She took this photo and sent it to me. A Muslim woman in a full burqa was using the sinks of the airport bathroom to wash her son's feet before praying. Airport bathrooms are now foot washing basins for Muslim invaders. The 24-year anniversary of 9/11 is in 7 days. Now, let's start here. If you're upset about that, wait till you find out what happened with that changing station. Just wait till you see the cultures of that changing station, if that's a problem. And I can tell you, just based on what I've seen, that washing a child's feet in the sink might be the cleanest that sink has been all day. You know what I mean? That might be the cleanest that sink has been all day. Now, how about this part? What makes her an invader? What makes her an invader? Because we don't know who she is. We don't know where she's from. We don't know where she was born. We don't know where she's going. All we know about this woman is that she's Muslim. That's all. So what would make her an invader? That's tough. The only thing that I could possibly guess is the only piece of information we have, that she's Muslim. That's the rhetoric that we're getting from Laura Loomer. And before I leave this, I just gotta holler at Muslims for Trump. Yeah. Muslims for Trump? Undecideds? Yeah, Muslim invader. Have no idea who she is. But she's an invader though. And let's not let the trend of this Islamophobia go ignored. I just hollered about Valentina Gomez trying to get attention for her campaign in Texas by just popping up and hating Muslims, just completely telegraphing exactly what the play is on the right wing right now. So have fun with that. Now, as abhorrent as something like just calling a random Muslim woman an invader might happen to be, or I don't know, taking photos of somebody in a public restroom, because Lord knows that's acceptable now, isn't it? That's a crime. It's illegal to film people in a bathroom, but yeah, let's worry about her washing a kid's feet and say F her privacy. Hypocrites, every one of you. So your friend likes to take pictures of little kids in the bathroom without their parents' permission. Look at you sharing pictures of women in bathrooms. Disgusting, but I expect nothing less from you. A sink's job is washing. A mom rinsing her kid's feet isn't an invasion, it's hygiene. What is invasive is photographing women and a child in a bathroom for engagement bait, then stapling 9/11 to it. Hey, Nancy Mace, we got a bathroom violation. I'm sure I will see 0 tweets in response to this. As objectionable as it would be to take these kinds of photos, staple 9/11 to it, just throw the label of invader on a random Muslim woman who you have no idea who she actually is, or by weaponizing love of Trump to obscure transparency for Epstein victims. As abhorrent as all of that is, the thing that's really nasty, because you can't put nasty past American people. We can't legislate that out of our society. We would have done it by now, is the elevation of that level of vileness. The elevation all the way to the highest reaches of our government. From Senator Mark Warner, folks, I'm getting attacked online by far-right conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer and her band of internet trolls. She attacked me on X for arranging a routine oversight meeting with an intelligence agency in Springfield, Virginia, and now Trump and his cronies canceled the meeting. I can't overstate how unprecedented and dangerous this is. This administration is taking its marching orders from a whack job with a history of 9/11 denialism, anti-Muslim harassment campaigns, and associations with white supremacists, and is putting our entire country's national security at risk. Let me be clear, I'll never be deterred from carrying out my constitutional responsibilities by extremist attention seekers. Now, let me get this straight. Are you a 9/11 denier? But then also you want to trump up Islamophobia by attaching it to a random photo of a Muslim woman. Like, did it or did it not? Like, that's crazy. That's as wild as attacking Kamala Harris for not being black and then lobbing anti-black racism her way, which is another thing that you did. If you're wondering where all of this leads and where all of this is going, we'll look no further than The Atlantic. Make McCarthy great again. Laura Loomer has become the Joseph McCarthy of the Trump era. The first thing Laura Loomer wanted to know when I called her earlier this month was whether or not this was going to be a hit piece. The self-described investigative journalist and unofficial advisor to Trump is familiar with the genre. She had just attacked the United States Navy for praising a recipient of the Medal of Honor. She would soon claim without evidence that Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, another person comfortable trafficking in unsubstantiated allegations, was giving out jobs in the back rooms of CrossFit gyms. Here's the evidence she cheated on her husband. It said that excessive steroid use in women makes women develop a form of increased sex drive. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims to be a Christian, but she cheats and lies to get what she wants and wears a cross around her neck as she cheats on her husband. She get in the back room of the CrossFit gyms while wearing her wedding ring and her cross, pretending to be a Christian. Most Christians get on their knees for Jesus. Marjorie Taylor Greene gets on her knees for any man who isn't her husband. Did we ever decide exactly why she had so much knowledge of the back room of the CrossFit gym? Did we? And did Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend ever see her? Like, did that ever get? And who got all these jobs? Soon after that, she said that Palestinian children receiving medical care in the U.S. pose a dangerous threat to American national security because, of course, you never know just how far she'll go, but that's the game she plays. I suggested at one point that her effort to get federal employees fired for supposed disloyalty to Trump recalled the Red Scare of the early 1950s when Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin exploited the private musings and personal associations of alleged communist sympathizers to end their careers. She loved that. Joseph McCarthy was right, Loomer responded without missing a beat. We need to make McCarthy great again. Yeah, MAGAs, y'all did this. Y'all did this. You did this to yourselves. You did this to yourselves. You picked me into a corner where now you have somebody like Laura Loomer who's picking y'all off for any level of disloyalty. This Laura Loomer. She toiled for a decade on the dark edges of relevance, pulling public pranks and getting chased off financial and social media platforms for hate speech violations. She was arrested after storming the stage at New York City's Shakespeare in the Park to protest a Trump-inspired Julius Caesar and kicked off Uber and Lyft for saying she did not want Muslim drivers. She also lost 2 bids for GOP congressional nominations in Florida, symbolically refusing to concede the second because of the voter fraud she said was caused by her inability to communicate on social media. Yeah, that sounds like voter fraud. She found out at the end of last year she wouldn't get a White House job she thought she was promised and lost her ability to make money on X after violating the platform's doxing policies. Yet here we are. Yes, here we are. Indeed, you guys work your whole career to get to the seat of power only to find out you're sitting behind Laura Loomer because you refuse to open your mouth up to this point at the actual absurdity. And as for Marjorie Taylor Greene, now she presents a pretty fascinating case because she and in her future will tell us what life looks like once people realize the damage that they've done. Huh? No, I wasn't talking about CrossFit. I wasn't talking about that. No, I wasn't talking about Arby's neither. Actually, maybe a little bit.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Now, there's not a lot that we can count on these days. There's death, taxes, and the Cowboys being trash.
Y'all are trash. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Y'all are trash.
And I mean trash. But one of the other things you can count on is my Tuesday lives. They started on Tuesday nights, and then we went to the afternoon, and then they went back to nights, and wow, I've been out here tacoing like Trump. I have all the commitment of a new ICE recruit. Well, here's the thing.
Huh?
There's so much that's happening in the afternoons. I find that's probably a good time for me to do my lives, and I can give some more immediate reactions. There'll be some polls that'll go up on the community tab, so be on the lookout for that. Also be on the lookout, especially while you're in the comments, for imposters. I mean, really, these imposters and these scam artists love my content more than I do. Honestly, they be there more than Miss Ray.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Scammers love my content like X loves racism.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
But I want you to know, because I get emails from folks all the time thinking that we had a whole text conversation. And man, I wish I had that deniability back in the day. That wasn't me. That was scammers. I never invited you over and left my actual address. That wasn't me.
Stop the cap.
I would never ask you for your phone number via a comment, and I certainly wouldn't list mine.
You have to trust your gut.
If you see these kinds of comments, please report them immediately and send them to my attention at admin@ReeseWaters.com. You know what? You can also send there any of these merch pics. Well, you know what? We got a whole merch unboxing from Paulette. You go, girl.
They have it very well packed in this customized box that holds it perfectly in place. Aha! The new Reese Waters merch. Reese, what's up? Way of Waters.
Thank you so much for that, Paulette. There's a lot more where that came from at ReeseWaters.com. And be on the lookout because there's a lot more drops coming just in time for the holiday season.